Hello, my name's Selena from Crafty Labs, and today we're talking about how to start a t-shirt business. Now, many of you have sent me communication via Facebook or Instagram, and I'm just going to answer some of your questions for you today. So thank you for joining. Welcome if you're new. Please hit the subscribe and the bell so that you don't miss out on any of my new videos. So some of the questions I've been asked are, where do I start? What is the best printer? Do I need a Cricut silhouette machine? What do I need to buy? So today I'm going to go through a few of those subjects that need to be covered. I'm going to try to answer those questions for you. So let's start with some of the basics. First of all, you will need shirts depending on what you plan on doing. So there are a few options. You've got sublimation, which is what I've got on today. This is where you apply it directly to the product. You have DTF, which is direct to fabric, and then there's HTV vinyl. So I can explain these more in detail in another video, but today I'm just going to go over the basics for you as to what you need and what you don't need just to start your business off. So first, let's start with sublimation. And what sublimation does is it penetrates into the fabric. So I'm just going to get a piece of fabric for you to look at, and then we can explain how this product goes on. Okay, so I've just gone and got a shirt for you, and I'll just bring up the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've just gone and got a shirt for you. Now this shirt, if you want to sublimate, it needs to be between 150% polyester, because the polyester blend shirt, the image needs to penetrate into the fabric. So this one here is a dupe that I've actually bought from Kmart, and it is just your Anko brand, and it has 50% cotton and 50% modal. Now, you might be like, what is modal? I don't understand. So that's kind of like a polyester, it's like a polyester blend. And I looked it up for you, and it says, modal fabric is a bio-based fabric that is made from spinning beech tree and cellulose. So this is generally considered a more eco-friendly alternative to cotton. So I have sublimated on this, and this has worked okay. It isn't necessarily your best option. I would, if you were going to be sublimating like what I have on this shirt here, this is 100% polyester, and I got this from the Cricut website, and you can actually buy their shirts, and they're really good because it sticks well. But I'll just show you what I've done on this one. So this has been sublimated on. As you can see, the image is bonded within the fabric, so that's not going to come off. You can wash this and it does stay, and this here is imagery that I've done myself, and I've sublimated onto that shirt. So that's what a sublimation looks like on a polyester cotton blend. This here is a cotton blend shirt. Now you can sublimate on cotton, but you're actually going to require more supplies for this. So you want to keep that in mind when you're buying your product, what type of material you want to sublimate onto, if you're going to go with the sublimation option. Okay, so now we're actually going more into the DTF design, what that is, which is direct to fabric is what I'm talking about here. So what I used in this was a DTF transfer powder. Now you can go on, I'll just grab this box, you can go on most websites that sell it. I bought this one here, which is called the Gozzi DTF Transfer Starter Kit, and it comes with your transfer powder, and it gives you the instructions on how to use it. You have your heat transfer tape, you have your little measuring squares which you'll need for positioning on your t-shirt, and then you've got the printable DTF transfer film, and this is really important. You need that film to apply your product with. I can do a bit more of a detailed breakdown on how this works in another video, but this is just giving you a basic idea of what you can use to start your business and decide which is going to work best for you. Also, another thing when you're doing sublimation is you're going to need sublimation paper. I have found that when I've used just your general paper to print on, it's not as good as the sublimation paper, because the sublimation is actually designed for transferring images onto your polyester. As you can see, it's written on here, polyester materials, soft and hard subtracts, because you can actually do this on your mugs and other things as well, but once again, another video. And then you can also do another thing if you're using a cotton type of shirt and you want the product to apply, you can buy sublimation coating spray. I have seen this being used. This can be used on t-shirts, pillows, canvas, cotton fabric and polyester fabric. I have yet to try this, so I actually don't know what this is like, but I will do a video on using this and see if this is actually a good product to trial. Okay, there's one other thing I forgot to tell you. When you're doing sublimation, you are going to require a sublimation printer. I have got a Epson EcoTank, which I have converted into a sublimation printer, and I use Hippo ink in that, and I can also do a short film on how I put that together and how I made my own printer. You can buy them online. I have found that it can be rather expensive, especially if you're wanting to print with whites. So if you want to print with whites, you are going to need to buy a printer that does that. And I believe Sawgrass may be one brand that does it, and I think there are a couple of other companies out there, but you're looking at the higher price point. So if you're prepared to spend in the $3,000 range, then that's fine. If you think your business is going to be bringing enough income to cover that product, then I would purchase it. If you don't want to go into that price bracket, then I'd just do what I did, and that is transform my Epson EcoTank into a sublimation printer, and that has worked perfectly fine for me, because the imaging that I'm doing is small and I'm not trying to do it on a bulk scale. If that makes sense. Okay, so if you're going to be looking at ways that you can layer your product, there are a couple of people I recommend that you go and visit on YouTube. And so I just bring these ones up for you to see. You may not be able to see them very well on my phone, but anyhow, they're here. So you've got Maker's Gonna Make. They're actually a really good page to go and have a look at. And then we've got Design Bundles. They're extremely amazing. And then we've got Crystal Ann. She also has her own webpage. So I would go and check out her YouTube channel or any of these ones I've suggested. I'll put them in the links below for you to go and watch them, because they have some really good tips and tricks as well on there that I have used when starting my small business on sublimation or HTV. Okay, so we've talked about the HTV. What are some of the things that you're going to need? So you're going to need, first of all, a cutting machine. I have my Cricut, is my choice. Others use a Silhouette. You're also going to need Cricut Design Space, and that is for placing your image and cutting it. You can also use Canva for this. Download images off there on SVG, transfer that onto your Cricut Design Space, and then cut them out in there. That obviously is a bit more detailed, so I will do that in another video. Along with that, you're going to need your mats, and there are various forms of mats that you can use for doing this. Mats that you're going to need, the ones I use is this Cricut Standard Grip. This has been fine. It's done the job for me. I've not had any issues with it, and this particular mat's actually a bit longer than your normal standard mat, so you'll see it goes all the way to there. So it's like buying a double mat, but this one has been fabulous for cutting on, and you can also buy them in bulk by different companies that aren't necessarily Cricut, but that's okay. That will work perfectly fine for you. So along with your mats, you're going to need weeding tools, and so I recommend you buy the Cricut brand weeding tools because they do last a lot longer. Okay, these are a couple of the weeding tools that I actually currently use. I've got my tweezers, I've got my Cricut handy weeder, I've got my little mini so this is an X-Acto knife, and this is really handy for when you're cutting out. You want to make sure that it's cut clearly and it doesn't stick to your canvas, so you want to have that. Also, I bought these neat little pens, and you just press the button and they've got like a little pin, tiny little pin on the end of it, and they're really good for helping weeding out those really tiny little designs that are hard to get into. So those are the few things that you're going to need for that. And then of course you're going to need a heat source, and you're also going to require heat tape, and so I just have this heat tape here, on a roll. I just use this and attach that to my medium so that it doesn't lift off when I'm putting it through my heat press. And I'll put a picture of the heat sources that I have. I have a couple, and I'll put them up here of all the different ones that I currently own, and I then will explain to you what each of those does. Okay, we've covered this a little bit already, and it's called DTF, direct to fabric, and that was when I was talking about those particular products that you need to mount your image in. So here you can design your image on Canva or Cricut again. You want to print it onto transfer sheets, and then once you print it onto your transfer sheets, you then want to cover your transfer sheets in your hot melt, which is that product I showed you before, and then you can transfer that onto your t-shirt. So depending on the type of product you purchase, your hot melt will either be a hot or a cold peel, and you want to make sure you check your manufacturer's instructions in order for that. I recommend, if you're going to be using the DTF transfer option, I would definitely use sublimation ink rather than the ink from your printer, because your basic ink printer is made up of pigments, and that tends to, once it's put through your washing machine, it's not going to last the same as if you were using your sublimation ink. Like I said, I use Hippo ink. That seems to be really good, and I've not had too many issues in the past. I have done some sublimation like I showed you before on the back of that shirt, and it is starting to come apart. Okay, so this is that shirt, and it's just starting to come apart a little bit now. Reason being is the product that I was using at the time, I actually didn't read the instructions properly. So I absolutely recommend that you spend time reading your manufacturer's instructions before you start your project. I mean, this doesn't bother me because, you know, this was just a test, but if I were to do this as a business and I wanted to sell them, you want to make sure that you test your product up. So the first product I use this here. It's called a hot melt powder, and this powder I will just shake over the top of my image, and then I'll set it on a heat source. Now, like I said, there are a couple of options. This is one that I have used. This is another hot melt powder. This is a transfer powder for DTF for printing. All your instructions are on here. It tells you how long to bake it for, and then how long you want to hot press it at 300 to 10 to 20 seconds, and it store it in a cool, dry place. Peel. Okay, so it actually doesn't say whether it's a hot or a cold peel, so I would test this out before I actually committed to using this if you were going to be selling your product. Always test your hot melts out. This one I haven't used. And then there was that one that I got in the mail that I purchased. So this is your basic kit if you want to start out from scratch, and it's got all of your things in it. So this is your transfer powder here, and it tells you what it does, and that it is scratch resistant, durable, great for bright colors, and then you've got your DTF film. Now when you take this out, it actually has inside, actually, you know what, I'm going to show you. Let's open it up and show you. So these are instructions on the inside. Tells you what to do. You print your film, use your pigment ink, put on your hot melt, use your press, and then make sure you have a DTF printer. I don't have DTF printer, I use sublimation, so we're going to disregard that. It tells you how to do it and what to put it on, you know, how to apply your product. All your instructions are on the inside. So this is your transfer film. This is really important. I'll open it up. So it's got a sticker on here that says print side. So when you pull it out of the packet, you want to make sure that you pull it out with the writing at the top. That's the way you're going to print. So you can also kind of tell. So this side of it is sort of like a matte. It feels slightly velvety on top, and that's how you can tell. And then this side is smooth, and you don't want to be printing on the smooth side because your image isn't going to attach. This is the side you want because this is what helps with the gluing process. Okay, so that's the difference. So this is just on an A4 printable sheet that I can just put through my machine, but you can get them in larger sizes as well, which I have done. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps you in your choices for the type of machines and products you need for if you want to start your own business at home doing t-shirts. I can go into more detail if you would like me to later on down the track. Hopefully I covered all those questions for you as to where to start, the type of machines you need, and what sort of products you should purchase. First of all, you want to sit down and decide what is the type of medium I want to use and what type of fabric do I want to attach that medium to. So that will depend on what it is you're going to pick and purchase. So hopefully this has been useful and you've been able to get some information out of this that's going to help you through the process of finding the type of medium that will work best for you. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments below. I'll most definitely put as many lists as I can as to where I purchase my products from, what I use, what I found good, what I have struggled with. I also am going to do a couple of short videos on the types of machines that I currently am using and how I put them together for the process of making your own t-shirts. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely day, and please subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell so that you can get any notifications on any new videos that come up. And that's it from us. This is Selena from Crafty Labs, and we're out. Bye.